Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Blue Abroad Show again. Pom, we're back in our normal seating arrangement.
We are, yeah. I've been removed from the couch. I enjoyed that couch.
It was quite nice. I think we can use that in the
The
future.
Pom corner.
Yeah,
I
we're
like
back
the
here, back
Pom
in the
corner.
studio, back with Shad Daddy. Things are starting to feel a little more normal by the day. Shad, thank you. Thank you for all you do. Before we start, we want to say hello to everyone in the audience. We also want to give a few thank yous out there. The show is brought to you by Assertive Media. That's Shad's company. He does all sorts of production work for companies and YouTube channels and things like what we do here. And so we appreciate the work that he does. And mate, we're looking forward to getting back in the studio more often. We've actually just filmed quite a few videos, Pom, didn't we?
Yeah, we smashed it out. And as usual, Shad lets us help us out. And that's what Shad does, isn't it? Classic Shad, just helping people out.
Loves it. Loves it. We're also supported by our members, you guys. First of all, those who just watch the videos, there's a lot of support there. But secondly, those who actually are members of the channel, we really thank you for that. Your names are appearing on the bottom of the screen as we speak. And we thank you so much for your support. And we're pumped. We're pumped to bring you what's coming over the next few weeks. Mate, we've got a new podcast on the network now. We have a Blue Abroad podcast network. Rocco and Pom, 4 episodes in, mate. Absolutely taking over the world.
Jumper Punch, yeah. We've got a very special guest. We're doing a recording tomorrow, so look out for that. It is, don't often use the L word, legend, but this one is a legend.
Are we allowed to know who it is, or do you want to keep that a secret?
I'll let it be a surprise for you, but think legend, think iconic grand final Carlton moment.
Okay, wow. That's exciting. Okay, I'm looking. Look, I know who it is, but I don't want to give it away, and I'm very bad at keeping secrets. So looking forward to that. And let's move on. Let's get started. What we're going to do tonight, we're going to go through the news of the week, general catch up with you guys, the news of the week from the club. We're also going to do what we promised we would do last week, and that's we're going to put together a best 22, and we're going to get you guys to participate in that and help us out. Pom and I have really racked our brains putting a best 22 together for round one. Yeah. And we've got a few more bits and pieces as well. We're going to do a little bit of a draft preview, some strategy talk. Want to get your thoughts as well. We're going to talk about the list, where we're at, what we can do with the draft. And without further ado, let's get into it. Shad, do we have an intro to roll? Can we roll the intro? I mean, I feel like that's what we should be doing.
What's going on? Internet!
Martin's been very impressive every single time.
I saw the count for it and I thank you for the lava.
They've seen some playing glass game. And there's a vantage moment. The ball inside 50. Control! He strikes it beautifully. He's got it.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Let's we can't start the show without the intro from now on, mate. It just has to be done. Let's begin. First item on the agenda. And it's about our man, Cade Simpson / AFLW. We've got some news about the coaching structure of for 2021. So for those of you who aren't aware, Simo's back at the club in a coaching role. This was spoken about all year. People love this notion of bringing players like that back to the club to do some work. I don't have any issue with it at all, but he's going to be an assistant coach for the AFLW / VFLW program. I think it's a great touch.
Exciting times, isn't it, as well? Because, I mean, like, imagine being one of the lady players and having a guy who's just recently come from the men's game. So ladies starting their journey, the women are very early in their journey. So they're getting some guy that has played an exceptional amount of games in the men's game. It's really going to help wean them into greatness. So you'd say that's going to fast track them to really hit them levels because he knows what it's like. He knows what it's like in the top men's level, and that's where the girls want to go. So he's going to bring that straight away.
Absolutely. The people who I think of right off the bat when I think of this move, Brooke Vernon, I think of Karen Harrington, I think of Charlotte Wilson, Mua Laloifi. How is that experience not going to be valuable to them? And that sets them apart from the other teams in the league. I don't know of any other appointments like that across the AFLW competition.
Yeah.
Particularly from the men's side of things who have played, 300 plus games to come in and share that knowledge. It's fantastic.
Oh, it's a huge coup for the girls team. And I think one thing for me as well, it's just huge to have he's going to have the standards from the elite men's competition. And that's where the women's game will eventually get to. It's in its infancy at the moment. You can see the standards increasing. That is huge that they're going to have someone recently from the men's level with all the help they get, bringing them skills, bringing that knowledge, bringing in what the expectation is right now. Because you've got to remember, he's still good enough to play football now. So that's huge. It's not like it's a 20-year veteran. This is someone who's just retired. So it's going to be huge, the knowledge base that they're going to get.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think for those who were reading the caption here that says Simo is back, no, it's not Joe. It is Kate Simpson. So just seeing a few comments here. Luke O'Shaughnessy was also appointed as the VFLW assistant coach. Now, I don't know anything about him. Don't know if you do, Pom, but just to recap the news on the women's side of things, it's all going to start ramping up, and it's
not far away, is it?
I don't want to get too excited, but things are really feeling normal again.
Well, I mean, it's a huge one as well, because if the girls win it, we could be the first team to win the women's and the men's in the same year. So be a huge one. Well, there's a little thing for our great little football club. And then you've also got the VFL on its own. And then you've got the VFLW side. So, potentially we could be looking at the quad, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
The quadruple.
Oh, mate. What else happened? What else is in the news that happened? We had some things for the men. For the men that went down. I think it was about a week ago. We had the final delistings. So we're going to talk a little bit about the list now. So we know that it was Harrison McCready, Callum Moore, and Cam Paulson were delisted. And correct me if I'm wrong, Kennedy was delisted. However, there was a promise that he would be re-rookied.
Yeah. So it's quite common. It's not really so common that it's told publicly, but it's quite often players are re-rookied. If you go through the rookie list, you'll see about 1,000 players that have constantly been recycled. North Melbourne, particularly, there's quite a few players there at North that have spent their entire career being delisted and re-rookied. So Josh DeLuca, famous Carlton player. If you remember, he was called Josh Delisted. Some people called him because it happened 4 times at Freo for him. So it's not the rarest occurrence, but great for Matt, really. Great for Bam Bam.
Yeah.
To still be on the list in such a hard year where jobs are a commodity, really, in AFL, to actually have that carrot. And still an option for him to be picked up as well, dare I say it, by North. And the Scum as well may look at him. So it's not a foregone conclusion he'll be back on our list, but should he drop there, he will be.
Well, let's unpack that a little bit. I want to spend some time on the guys that were delisted. Let's start with Callum Moore. I mean, he was brought in to fill a role for Charlie, who was obviously on the long-term injury list. We still have Charlie. I guess he's not technically on the long-term injury list, but we know that there's been a delay with his recovery. It's going to be an extra 6 to 8 weeks. So we'll touch on that. It'll tie into what I want to talk about a little later with the rookie draft and things like that. So Callum Moore, look, it was a punt. It was he filled a role. He played a few games, so fair play to him. McCready was an interesting one. It wasn't a shock. I think I've also forgotten Fraser Phillips, but McCready, he showed quite a bit. 2017, I remember he and Willow, the rookies, they came in, they played their first games, they debuted, they played really well. Willow played 15 games. I think McCready, I feel like he played close to 10 games. He showed some signs, but unfortunately, injuries and form just couldn't get him back in the side. I wouldn't have been shocked either way. If they gave him one more chance, I wouldn't have been shocked because we've really tried to hang on to a lot of these guys, these project players. Do you think he'll get picked up?
Well, there was talk that the Doggies were entertaining the idea, which I found quite weird because you look at their backline, they've got a lot of similar players in that avenue of size. It's a shame for McCready because he did show quite a bit, particularly if you look at his VFL games. The problem was he was kind of just like, as soon as he saw grass, he broke down. He never got the continuity that he probably deserved.
Yeah.
And when you're that size, when you're tall, and you get a lot of injuries, they are the susceptible players, unfortunately, in the career. So it's it's the breaks, though, of the year. I would have said if it was a proper year, proper sizes, he probably would have been continued on with. I think it's just more of a detriment to where the list is. Tough calls are going to be made. Callum Moore, though, for me, it's a logical thing. Delist him. If he is the replacement for Charlie in the interim, he did sweet FA, to be fair to him. Yeah, he played, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
There is a plethora of players being delisted who play the similar role. You might as well take this as a free hit. Maybe someone like Mason Wood. as your replacement for Charlie if he is going to be out for a long term. It doesn't look like it's long term though. But
No.
should we have a setback, knowing that you could maybe rookie a player like Mason Wood, it's probably a better call than Callum Moore, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, we've lost obviously a backup defender in McCready, and my mind straight away goes to, okay, are we either going to be looking to draft another project player, or are we going to pick up someone in the rookie draft, the preseason draft, to fill, just to be that body? Callum Moore, not a defender, but a key position player. Then there's the other part of this where my mind goes to, okay, well, maybe they're going to start using Levi more as a defender, or maybe they're going to get rid of this 3 tall forward system and use McGovern in defense at times. So there's a few things happening. Obviously, Marchbanks, I think he's fit. I think he's fit right now. So he might come into the fold as well. And then the final one for the week was Cam Paulson. And it just, I don't know. I feel like it had to happen at some point. We tried, we hung on. He's obviously a very high quality, high character guy within the club because they kept wanting to make it work with him, change his position, persist with him. He must train the house down, and he's, no question marks about his character. It's just more so ability. Could he play at the level? And for us, we're moving into this new era now of we're going to win finals now. So.
Well, I mean, we're at the stage now, where sentiment doesn't have it come into it anymore. It's a tough. I mean, when you're cutting your list sizes down, to 36 to 38 senior players, it's not a lot of players, and unfortunately, players are going to go. And I think we saw his level. I think Cam, and this is all due respect to him, I don't think he's ever going to be a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 footballer. I think he's always going to give you 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
it's going to be, just that steady player that comes in. I think that is his ceiling. I don't think he's ever going to be a game breaker. And I think he seems quite an intelligent boy. I think he'd admit that himself. He's never going to be a superstar. So he's had a long time on the list. Look at who he's behind now, though. Saad, you say he's a halfback flanker now. Saad, Doc, he's nowhere near that. And good luck to him. I hope he goes to the VFL. Love him to play for the Carlton VFL, because it brings that. If we use the VFL how I hope we do, it's the best state players and it's the guys who are undrafted in this draft getting a second chance. That carrot, you're playing for an AFL side in their reserves, and it'd be good to have players like Cam around who can say, this is what it takes, this is what this club expects.
He knows the game style.
And also having that second carrot for Cam. If I turn the house down and if I hit where I could be, because there's no doubt Cam Paulson in his first year showed his ceiling, but that was as a small forward. Remember that.
Yeah.
Total different game plan. Unlucky to him. He's done. He's lived his dream. He's an actual AFL footballer. He's played it.
Absolutely.
Good luck to him. I hope to see him on a list, whether that's at Carlton, whether that's wherever it is. Best of luck to you, mate.
Yeah. I want to touch on something you mentioned because it's coming up here in the comments as well about this reserves team, because this is kind of flown under the radar. It's big news because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who were asking for a Carlton standalone team. We have our own players, our own list, our own game style, both in the ones and the twos. We now have that. So for me, when I look at it, I think about these project players that we've drafted, the McCreadys, the Fraser Phillipses, the Finbar O'Dwys, the guys who, okay, we'll put them on the list and see what they can do. Well, now you can just put them in your reserve side, let them develop and show what they can do there, and then pick them up. I'm a big fan.
We've got to remember the Northern Blues, even though the Northern Blues, the Bull Ants weren't all Carlton.
Yeah.
It was effectively run as a reserve side. If you hear like Josh Fraser's been quite vocal about Carlton fans criticising the Bull Ants, and he's revealed that it was basically Carlton reserves. It was just shares costs. But I'm hoping rebrand that they maybe look at these state league players that get missed out, these 18, 19-year-olds, like Jai Boltons of this world, these guys that are the next Jai Boltons, missed out in the draft at 18, take the next best available. Carlton haven't got a pick in a real prime position this year, but the AFL are saying that they expect 50 to 60 players to go in this draft, which means there is going to be a lot of talent that would be drafted in a normal year. So probably about 20, 30 players are going to be in state league football that would be on an AFL list. So that's where the VFL comes in. And I've got a plan that we're going to talk about later, but that's where I'd be using this VFL, trying to find the ones they've missed, the diamonds in the rough, mix it with some senior players, your guys recently delisted who know the level. And it'd be a great place, to send our players out to pasture. Like next year, Mark Murphy, if he does retire, instead of delisting him, giving him the captain spot in the VFL to say this is the standard
Yeah.
of what it takes to play for this great football club.
Yeah. The list is finally looking.
He looks really good.
This is no offense to Cam Paulson, but and Callum Moore and guys like that. But for me, when I go to watch a game and I see them playing, it's just like, I hope they do okay. I hope they just don't make too many mistakes. I don't have that confidence of, we're going to get this from this player. Williams is coming in now. Sard's coming in. You look at him and you know you're going to get something that's going to actually potentially change the game.
Yeah, you look at the 35 senior players on our list at the moment and you think, it's not bad, man.
Yeah.
Like, the depth is there. It's not bad. There's not them players that you look at and you go, Jesus Christ, how are you an AFL footballer? Like, you actually look at it now and you can see a list forming before our very eyes. Like, this is definitely a top 8 list as it stands today.
Yeah.
And it's the strongest list that I can remember. Really, looking at it on paper, there's some talent there.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's some talent and there's a clear strategy that's been fulfilled now.
And you look at our core players as well, that core age. We talk about 24, 25, 26. They're all coming into that bracket now. Our top 10 players are all coming into that bracket. It's no longer 17, 18, 19-year-old kids are in that bracket. Now it's footballers.
Yeah.
Exciting times.
It is. Let's get through to some comments. People want to have their say. Let's give them their say. Adam Maple, no 300-game AFL players to coach the AFLW, Terry? Yeah, that's because they typically transition to assistant coaching in the men's game or get a cushy job in the media, Tez. Yeah, that's why I said it's very rare to have someone of his ilk come to the women's team. It's fantastic. Where are we? Mitchell Pottinger. Will we draft any father sons? It's a very popular topic. We'll get to that. We're going to do a bit of a draft discussion shortly, just a bit of strategy. Where are we? Jim Axais, no more gifting games to players. Mitchell Pottinger wants to see Ben Silvani on the rookie list. Ian Murphy, Debbie O'Connor, can't wait to see what Simo does with our Rezzies team. Spot on. Clinton McRae, this draft is a lucky dip. Adam Allison, will be some genuine diamonds picked up in the second and third rounds next draft. Every year there are players who jump to attention in the final year. Let's hope we get one. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think everyone's minds is right there. It's right at the draft already. We're going to get to that. There is, I don't know if I really want to talk about it because it's not confirmed, but people are talking about Brodie Kemp in the comments. Rumors going around. Basically, Barras, the great Barras, put up a comment in the big footy forums talking about a potential stress fracture to the back of Brodie Kemp. I don't know. It's getting around there. I don't really want to talk about it because I don't know if it's true yet. It hasn't been confirmed.
I've been locked away doing draft stuff in this cave and you're dropping bad news on me. Well, I mean, let's hope it's not true.
Yeah. But Barras has a great strike rate. And he's, if you're a Carlton fan and you're looking for rumors and forums, he or she, I don't know if it's a male or a female, but Barras seems to be the one to go to.
Well, we don't assume gender here at Blue Abroad.
No, we don't.
But I would say it is horrific news, but it's classic Pom, isn't it? Because I've got excited about Charlie Curnow, that was taken away from me. I get excited about Brodie Kemp, and that gets taken away from me.
Let's just wait to see if there's confirmation from the club.
I'm just not excited about any player anymore.
Those of you wanting confirmation in the comments, the answer is we don't know. We have no idea. We hope it's not true. We hope they're just shitty rumors that people post online just for attention. But I guess we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what the club do with that, but I do want to knock it on the head because people are writing about it in here. Next up, we promised we would do this on the mega stream, and we put it back a little bit. We're going to do a best 22. We're going to try and pick, with you guys at home, we're going to try and pick a round 1 best 22 team, which means in classic Carlton fashion, we're already ruling out Charlie Curnow. He might feature in. When do we expect him to play? Can we expect him to play?
And if so, when? We might release him after the bye. I'd like to see us give him 4 or 5 games in the VFL.
Okay. Goodness me, Charlie in the VFL.
No, I think you've got to. I mean,
of course.
It's an interesting thing that up until last year, Marchbank and Curnow had never played VFL football. And you look at them and you think of their injury success. Yeah. Is that something? Because you look at 2018, 2017. It's not Bolton this, but I'll say Bolton era. As soon as a player like them got injured and he came back, it was like all they had to do was just walk from the car park to the dressing room. And
just
they were
get
like,
to work in the morning and you got to
go. Yeah, you're in, mate. Yeah. Well done. Congrats. Fitness test.
Okay, so that's when we can kind of expect it. Before we do the the best 22. Shaz just reminded me here with Matt Kennedy. The Matt Kennedy move. So delisted with the promise to be rookie. Can we make that promise?
Yeah, you
Can we guarantee he gets back to Carlton?
Well, you can't guarantee it because, like I said, that it depends. It depends where he's at. I'd imagine he's in a situation where he's fully committed to Carlton and he's not going to go any other avenue. He's going to just enter into the rookie, like most players do. Like you look at people like Lachlan Hosey, he's done it multiple times. You look at Josh Luca, he did it multiple times at Fremantle. So very rare does a player not do it, but it doesn't mean that in the rookie draft, if Essendon or North Melbourne had a pick, they would get the priority. They could quite easily pick him up. If they
I could easily see Essendon picking him up. He plays Essendon football.
Don't say that.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Just putting it out there to the world.
It's a nifty move because it saves salary, cap space.
I mean,
puts a rocket up his ass to perform.
I would say I'd guarantee he's at Carlton next year. I'd be very surprised to see him not end up at the Blues.
You all heard it here first. Pom said it.
Blame me.
It's always Pom's fault anyway.
I get blamed, round 17. It's my fault.
It's always your fault anyway. Okay, we're gonna do it. 2021 round 1, best 22. I guess we should do this. We'll do it line by line, and then we'll get your input at the end of each line. And then
this was tough. This as well.
This was tough. Look, what we're going to do here is we've put together a first draft. Okay, we'll put together a template. You guys can make alterations as you go. But let's begin. In the back line, we went with Lockie Plowman, Liam Jones, and Nick Newman. Now, the discussion obviously was, okay, is it Newman? Is it Williamson?
Yeah, I was Team Williamson.
You were Team Williamson. Let's unpack it. Make the case for Williamson over Newman.
I think he's just played. I think you've got to earn the spot. I want the Guernsey earned.
Okay.
In trials of fire, not just because you were good a couple of years ago. I think he hasn't played for a year.
Yeah.
Apart from round 1, so for me, Williamson played very steady, looked very good towards the end of the last year. His booming kick as well. He's played that position. Newman's more higher up the ground in the half-back flank. So just at the moment, I'd want to see Williamson there starting. But I relented because I would have had Newman on my bench as the option for. Yeah. So I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, think about it from a club perspective internally. Where do you earn your runs? You earn them at training, you earn them in scratch matches, you earn them in all of that. Newman seems to me, for me, it's about winning games now. And yes, Willow's the future, but I think Newman is the now. But then there's that balance between Willow probably has more upside. So you probably want to try and exploit that and tap into that potential as soon as you can. I wouldn't be totally upset if Newman didn't play. But yeah. I just think he's on the list. He's at that age profile, very senior player now. And I think he's held in a very high regard. I don't know where he's at with his injury and if he's going to be ready, but I went for Newman. You guys at home, do you have that same issue with the back line? Are you looking at Williamson or Newman? And if so, how are you navigating it? Let's see what the feedback is. Joshua Blode says he's got Willow over Newman for now. Why do I like is hashtag Team Williamson. Helena says that she loves Willow's attacking and aggressive playing style. Absolutely. Suits what we're trying to do for sure. Willow was very good this year, but Newman is probably better, just needs to show it, from Josh Blode. Ari Stamatako says he feels like Willow also has a little bit more versatility, has the capability to play on the wing, and he's younger as well. Both good players, but Willow edges it for him. Mr. Bluebagger says you have to earn a spot in the Carlton side now. Spot on you do. We've got Charlie Horn went Plowman, Jones, and Marchbank in his back line. So, all right, we'll tentatively lock that in for now. The half-back line we had here, we put Sard, Wiedering, and Doherty. I feel like that's just...
I feel like that can't be argued with.
Can we argue with that? Can you make a case against that? Unless you wanted to put Doherty in the pocket and put Williamson or Newman on the half-back flank. I feel like that's the only alteration. But for me, you got Doherty...
higher up the ground as well is a lot more impactful.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You've got Sard left footer, Doc right footer, just perfect for the angles around the ground. I mean, we felt like that was a pretty much a no-brainer. But again, you guys at home, how do you feel about that for a back six?
I mean, that's an all-Australian 2021 half-back line, that.
Yeah.
I lock that in.
All three of them.
Easy.
All Australian.
That's the best half-back line almost ever assembled.
Okay.
That's if FIFA did an AFL version, EA Sports did an AFL, either. If they did EA Sports AFL Online,
Yeah.
they had an ultimate team. That would be the team that you play every weekend league at AFL Online. That is just ridiculous. I would be dropping the credit card on that back line.
I love it. I love it. Luigi Foligno says Doherty should go into the midfield. Vince Jason says that our halfback is spot on. Bryce Richards, the back six is fire. And we have bench cover. Helena says, don't get too excited, Pom. You've got a bad history with this. What could go wrong?
Yes, spot on, Helena.
What could go wrong? So those are the back six. Just to recap, Plowman, Jones, Newman, Sard, Wiedering, Doherty, or interchange Newman with Williamson, however you prefer. Centre line, we went with Walsh on the wing, Setterfield right in the guts, and Murphy on the other wing. I feel like that's...
Murphy's going to be controversial.
Yeah, I
it's
think
probably
so.
my friendship with you who's just taking me down the dark path.
I feel like we just put him in there because we're biased here. But I mean...
Because we watched a Murph video like 5 seconds before making it. I can't argue it, though. I can't argue. I still think we've got a spot for Murph. The way I look at it, Betts, Murphy, they've got targets on their head.
Yes.
And if I'm a young player, if I'm a Josh Honey, if I'm an SPS, I'm retiring these blokes this year somehow.
Yeah.
I'm retiring.
Cunningham.
Yeah, Connors. These guys have got to be looking and going, I'm retiring these blokes. And there's a wonderful field to pasture in the VFL for us now.
Yeah.
Where we need them. We need, like, how great would it be to be round 12 this year and saying, right, Betts is past it.
Yeah.
Off you go and kick goals against Coburg for banter.
Yeah.
And he's training them 18, 19-year-olds
Yeah.
who've picked up.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we want him. So, especially with Murph, I think he's got his field kicking is still very good.
Yeah.
And Walsh, he had that new role in the wing, starting off there at centre bounces. I like that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the
Satterfield
idea
good.
also is this is the round one team. Now, by the end of 2021, I would hope that someone like a Cunningham or an SPS has improved to the point where it's like, Murph, you got to go, or you push him out of the
In
side.
an ideal world, we're going Walsh. For me, it would be Walsh, Satterfield, Dow.
Absolutely.
I'd love to be here
Absolutely.
next year and saying Dow's a lock.
Yeah. But right now, we can't say that.
No, I want Dow there. I'd love Dow there. I
Yeah.
think he's got the zip to do what Walsh has done, where he starts on the wing, rotates in the centre, he's got pace, he's got dash. That if you're watching this, Paddy Dow, that is your aim.
Yeah.
Retire Murph.
Retire Murph.
Take his number 3 off him.
Absolutely. So I also feel Murph has to be in the side for the experience. Round one. It's a round one team. Murphy, I'm pretty confident will be there. Has he dropped out of our best 22? I don't believe he has. Is he in our best 10? I think he's flirting with the bottom end of that,
Yeah, I'd say
10,
he's like
11,
15
12.
for the
Yeah, I
moment,
think
15,
yeah, which is great for us. If he's our 17th best player playing in round one, for me, that's a tick.
And we talk about depth in the back line. I think we've got depth here as well now. You've got Dow, you've got Lockie O'Brien, you've got SPS, you've got Cunningham. There is a lot of players that you could have an argument. No right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
But I like
So I'll call the followers out. So we have the 6, midfielders, so to speak. So the followers, we had Tom De Koning starting round one with Cripps and Zach Williams. So just to read out that 6, it's Walsh, Setterfield, Murphy, Tom De Koning, Cripps, and Zach Williams.
That is,
mate.
That is, honestly, tell you, that is a glazed donut of a 6. I tell you, that is RPG. That's like reading the Arsenal midfield in the Invincible years.
Oh yeah.
So who are class?
Like if Murph's your worst midfielder out of those 5 or 6 names, or the 7th with the bench, then I think we're going.
You know what?
okay.
When you're listening to SEN, you're driving home on a Thursday evening, you've got them reading out the team. I'm just going to be there going, "Stop it!
Get out of here!
Yeah, stop it!" That's a good mid. That I tell you. But then again, you can throw in anyone. I don't know what the audience think. We can throw in anyone.
Let's see what they
The
think.
depth is good, man.
Let's see what they think. Unleash Willow in the mid, says Helena. Yes, absolutely.
I can see that.
Absolutely. Terry K. Murphy's leadership becomes even more valuable now on the field without Simo. 100% agree. Also, when we play Collingwood, Essendon,
He gets it.
he gets exactly right. He gets it. He understands what needs to happen, and he lives for it. He's got a really. He's the elder statesman of the club now, who carries through the Carlton values.
It's crazy, isn't it? That
It's ridiculous.
He's now the old
Yeah.
man of that team.
It is ridiculous.
Heartbreaking.
It is ridiculous. So Garen Fisher says we need Dow, Stocker, or Kemp to step up in the midfield.
I see 2 more names that we haven't mentioned. He's spot on. Yeah, there's so much depth in the midfield.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Can't have Ed Kerno on ball again if we want to improve. Maybe hard tag, roll, or pressure forward for Ed. Stephen Smirling. What's with Newman? Could he move to another club because he has been rookie listed, or is he staying? Well, he's on the
No, he's still on the
senior list.
isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's on the senior list. He's just injured, recovering from the injury. Darren Worthing says Murph needs to play, needs experience. Jeffrey O'Day, SPS Walsh Williams. Murph has become too inconsistent. Apart from the Gold Coast game, those last 6 games were awful. Fair enough. Adam Maple, he's recovering from a serious knee injury regarding Newman. Once 100% fit and healthy, Nick Newman is absolutely in the best 22. Adam Allison wants Walsh to go full-time in the guts. Mr. Bluebaggers, Murph should be in the forward line by the end of the season. Surely someone takes his spot by then.
It's funny we said that. That's why we could put him out to pasture in the pocket.
For Eddie, maybe, I don't know.
No, I don't mind that. Put him out to pasture there.
Yeah.
It would be a great person to have as an impact.
Yeah, I think so too.
Wouldn't he? Just throw him in for banter.
I'm kind of hoping that 2021, everyone starts watching him and instead of, trying to cut him down, just realizing, oh, he's kind of in his last year or his second last season. Why don't we just enjoy him while he's here?
If as a club we can carry off that complete mug Gibbs. Right?
Exactly.
That mug.
Yeah.
That traitor. That guy who wanted to leave us when we needed him.
Yeah.
Okay, he had family issues, but he left us. Remember that. He left us.
Yeah.
He's definitely a hero. He's someone that we need to allow. He needs to be carried off. Carried off.
I'm with you.
And I hope to see it this year. I hope we retire him. And I think Ed Kerno, someone mentioned that. Great point. Ed Kerno's another one of these over 30s that these players should be thinking this year. Stocker. If I'm Stocker, I'm thinking, I'm a tough tackler. I'm a mean mother. I'm taking your job.
Yeah.
And how great would it be? Round 18, we give them a token game. Suddenly Ed Kerno, Betts, Murphy, we retire them all at the G. Piss them all off. And the new core are here. How great would that be?
Yeah, it would. Nigel Appleboom always has something positive to say. He says we have the depth of B-grade mids. Shy Blues 77. Love Cunningham's pace and is a beautiful kick. All right, so Murphy might not be in this 6, but we've got Walsh, Setterfield, Murphy.
It's about 50-50 split.
About that. TDK, Cripps and Williams. Let's go to the half-forward line and the forwards in general. We had, and again, just a skeleton. This isn't official. This isn't right or wrong. So don't get in your feelings about it. Jack Martin, Mitch McGovern, and Zach Fisher is what we've got as the half forward line. I mean, we've sort of done this with the idea that we don't name 3 tall forwards. So if that's wrong, then this won't happen. But I feel like that's the way it's got to be.
3 talls off the park.
True. We have Levi on the bench, not to spoil it, but we do. So
I like it. I think that works.
It's versatile. They're quick. They're nimble at ground level. McGovern's a target. We also want to have Harry playing out of the goal square. We watched a few highlights of some games this year. McGovern at his best was, a half forward, kicking the ball inside 50 to Harry, isolated. So I think
it does work. It does work. If you watch the Doggies game, particularly, that formation works with Levi being that impact player and coming on, creating problems. So I like that. Jack Martin, you've got the creativity. Zach Fisher, he's got creativity. And
obviously, Charlie's not in this side for obvious reasons. Otherwise, I feel like Charlie would probably be
and then
right there.
You said Zach would probably just shift forward a bit.
Yeah. I think so. There's that. And then the rest of the forwards, we had Eddie Betts, Harry Mackay, and Michael Gibbons. Betts, very similar situation. We're excited to see him. MCG, round 1. Crowds, fans are there. Got to see Eddie play live, and I feel like he'll be given that, that right to play for round 1. Is he going to stay there until round 22? We hope not, right? Like, for the betterment of the club, we hope that.
I'd be very disappointed if, come the end of the season, he's in our best 22. I'd be very disappointed.
Not because we hate Eddie, but because
I love Eddie,
we're talking about the club now.
I think now
forward.
At his age, like Cade plays a different position. It's a lot easier to play on the halfback flank.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the center of the attack. I want to see one of these young blokes take him out.
Yeah.
And whether that's JSOS, whether that's Josh Honey, whether that's Owies, one of these boys say, you know what, this is my gig now. And Eddie would be proud. I guarantee Eddie's that type of person that he wants to hand his Guernsey over to someone and say, the kingdom is yours.
So the Gibbons one is an interesting one for me. I know we put him in the pocket, but I felt like we put him there because we just had to get him into the team. I really don't want to see him playing as a small forward personally. I don't know about you guys at home. For me, maybe Gibbons goes onto that spot where Murphy is and Murphy plays in the forward pocket. I just think, why have we brought in a two-time JJ Liston medal trophy winner, I should say, best midfielder of the VFL multiple years, and played him as a forward?
That's what we do.
I know that's what we do, but I just feel like Gibbons should be more of a midfielder.
I like him in the forward line, though. I think if you look at this 18, now we've got the 18 start, look at the good teams, Richmond, Geelong, name another good team, Eagles. They heavily rotate, GWS as well. They heavily rotate their small forwards and their midfielders.
That's true.
And this 18, it has, even if you bring SPS into there for someone as well, you've got players that can play small forward, can play small defender, and can play in the midfield. And it gives a real good rotation. Like the guy said there, I want to see Walsh on the ball. Well, Walsh did play 30% on the ball this year.
That's right.
So they rotate, and it helps Cripps out because there's more people around him, creates them little wrong maneuvers, makes it hard for a Tiger. So I really like the depth we've got. And you see Teague, he's been selling that to us for 2 years. Play your different roles, be versatile. And you can see he's added that versatility now. And this 18 is very versatile.
Yeah, it is. It is. So on the bench, we've got Ed Curnow, Levi Casbolt, which allows the 3 tall forwards to play, gives TDK a chop out. We've got Tom Williamson and Sam Petrevski-Seaton, who, again,
decent bench.
Where does Samo play? In that back 6? Does he rotate in that back 6? Because Williamson's going to be rotating in that back 6. I
think to me, he's where Murphy is, and he's got Williamson. I mean, he's got Williams, and he's rotating with Williams on the ball, pinch hitting on the ball. Same with Dow. Both of them would be doing that. If they come into this team, they've got the ability to play on the ball and on the wing, utilize their pace a bit. And I think SPS, that's where he lives, on the wing. I think that's his natural.
Agreed.
He's the son and heir of Murph. Like, you look at them, the way they play, very similar style.
So maybe we'll put SPS on the field and put Murphy on the bench.
I just think round 1, you've got to play Murph.
Yeah.
I think he's got the credits in the bank. I think you need that experience. Until that experience is taken away from him, which I don't think it'll be very long. I think, by the bye, one of these old players, my Pom's big call, by the bye, one of these old players will no longer be best 22.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope you're right. So there's the 22. Now we're going to talk about the guys who are missing out. And these are some solid names, not too bad. So Marchbank, we didn't put him in because I feel like if he was 100% fit and healthy at the peak of his powers, he's a lock in a side, but we just don't know. He's missed a lot of footy. So I just don't know for round 1, but I wouldn't be surprised. Let's just say, for argument's sake here.
Just don't think Marchbank and Plowman can play in the same team.
Why not? They
Too
work
tall.
off each other so well.
No, I think it's too tall. I think if you look at other teams, and there's a genetic makeup here, they have about 6 talls all in the team. And I think Marchbank...
Too many?
I just think... I think Plowman and Marchbank work well together, but I think it's just the way we play. We're looking for quick transition football out there. And that's not what's going to be required. And I think that Williamson offers something totally different. So does Newman. They're a lot slighter, a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Not as good as deliverer as Marchbank.
Is Marchbank potentially the Liam Jones replacement in 3-4 years whenever he's ready to retire?
It's funny you say that because that was the thing, that he's not quite tall enough to be a key defender. He's not quite small enough to be a small defender. He's that happy medium. I don't mind him going. I could see Jacob Wheater as he gets a bit older, because he's dominant, moving to that fullback position. Then Marchbank takes the centre halfback position, because I think that Wheater is the last line as he gets to that 26, 27 point in his career, 28, controlling the back line, like a Stephen Silvani. This is my area and I'm the general of this back line. I could say that, but I like Marchbank. He's definitely brilliant and we are a better team with him in. I just think that it would mean that you'd have to maybe take Casbolt out.
Okay. Fair. I mean, I think that can coexist, but let me just read out the names who could get a game on any given day, but just haven't been, they've been squeezed out here. So obviously Jack Noons had a great year. We mentioned Marchbank, Jack Silvani, Dave Cunningham. We've got Mark Pitternet. We've got Lockie Fogarty now. And then sort of to that next level below, you've got Stocker. We don't know where he's at. If he's fit and healthy, is he ready? And then you've got Dow and you got Lockie O'Brien and so on. Kemp as well.
That guy said that we're a B grade midfield. Are we?
Yeah, is it?
Are we? Because if you think our best 6, and then look at Richmond's best 6, and then look at Richmond's next best 6, they're not world beaters. And that's what people forget. You only need 4 or 5 superstars, 4 or 5 good players, and the rest are topped up by worker ants. So Dow, his worst If he reaches his potential and his worst ceiling, it'll be workaround level. But he's still young enough at the moment to say that his best could be A grade.
Yeah, there's plenty of time with Dow.
And
I think having him now at this situation where we've just named him as what, the
4th, 6th,
28th, 29th player on the list, as opposed to being just right in that starting 18. So he's got time to develop.
and there's so much that can pan out. Like we're talking about Marchbank. Marchbank could play back pocket with Plowman, and then suddenly Williamson becomes a winger. People are saying put him in the midfield. So then suddenly you've got another midfielder that becomes a backman. There's a lot of depth there. Like I just don't think you can be negative about this list. And if you are negative about this list, I'd say, well, where the fuck have you been the last 10 years?
That's probably why the negativity's there.
No, but I'd be asking, like, are you flat broke out your mind? Were you there 2018?
Yeah, 2018.
When we had
true.
complete banter on our list.
So we were watching video. We have recorded a series of reaction videos. I don't want to spoil it, but we've basically gone back and watched some older games, some recent games from this year, and some older games from seasons past. And we were seeing guys like Aaron Mullett running around and Nick Graham. Respect to them, but I mean, shit.
Running down.
It is positive when you look at the fact that those guys were playing.
Oh, I mean, come on, Aaron Mullett. The only positive about him is he had tattoos, and we had no one else with a tattoo. I mean, there was some poor. I think if you look at 2016, you look at that list, and some of the players we were holding our hopes on. So go back to Bolton's formative years. So you'd say that was his second full season in charge, 2017, same as T, to play the same game time. Look at some of the people that were on that list.
Yeah.
And we were saying, oh, I wonder if he'll be good. I remember people telling me, that Jesse Class-McAster could become a superstar.
Yeah.
Oh, who was that little Indigenous player as well? The name escapes me.
Jared Garlett, Jared Pickett.
No, the rookie. His name's got Kim LeBoy.
Kim LeBoy.
And I remember,
Kim LeBoy.
and everyone was like, ah.
Mate.
And do you remember that he kicked that snag against Fremantle in the preseason? And everyone was like, oh, it's Eddie. And like you look now, this list, because we're delisting players like Cam Paulson, this list is getting infinitely better.
Yeah.
And you can either fight it or you can step on your little Uncle Pom's minibus and get on Flagville.
I could smell it coming. I could smell it.
Because we're talking top 8 football.
We have to, mate. We have to. Enough is enough.
There is no 9th. The AFL ladder now is top 8 and the rest is just complete chunkville.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's there's our first draft. We're just going to put it out there. Let you guys think about it. It's definitely going to change.
We should do it like every week of preseason because
rolling 22.
Because for facts we'll play someone like Adelaide in preseason and some complete chump will kick 40 goals, and we're like, he's brilliant.
It's not a bad idea. Throughout the preseason when we do the show every week.
You know what I'm like. Paddy Dow against Adelaide with no pressure, 36 touches, 2 goals, and I'm like, he's arrived.
I can't wait.
I know me.
Oh, let's see. What are the people saying here? Let's go. Where are we?
So excited for round 1.
Oh, mate.
Why is it so long away?
Jim Axais. What makes a better team in 2021 is the players who missed out. We now have genuine quality depth. #flaggers. Mark Nankervis. Marchbank plays on talls and smalls. Adam Maple. Mate, it's good to have you in the audience tonight, mate. It's good to have you around. Marchbank is only 193 centimeters tall. Cripps is taller. But who knows if Marchie will be on track or in the rehab room again. Is he one? That's pretty tall.
He's tall, yeah.
That's pretty tall.
That's what I was saying. He's not quite
193.
He's not quite as small.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of talk in the Bolton years. Sauce mentioned it. I think it was 2018.
Yeah.
Saying that he was being eyed as because you look at the modern day centre half back.
Yeah.
They're not huge anymore.
No, they're athletic.
And you look at his skill levels, intercepts. You look at Tom Stewart, quite often slots into that centre half back role as well now for Geelong. It's quite that modern day way. You look at how we play; it's very quick. It's very move fast.
Skill me up. First year back as Carlton standalone team. We must be top 4. Oh, skill me up. I've been looking for you. Can you please send me a message on any other social media platform? I have a Guernsey to give you. Skill me up. You won last week. So
well done, mate.
I've been looking for you, but I can't find you anywhere other than your YouTube, and there's no way to actually message. So there you go. I owe you a Guernsey. Where are we? Grumpy Old Man says Marchbank could play on the wing. I just haven't seen it. I personally haven't seen it. I've only read about it.
They say
I've only read about it.
They say because he's injured and he's a very good deliverer by foot.
Okay.
So
Fair call. Isaac Borelli, guys, sending you greetings from Adelaide. Go the Mighty Blues. I've paid up for my membership for 2021. Can't wait. Paddy Dow is young and has huge upside. Good on you, mate. We'd love to see that. We are smashing the membership target. I think the last time I checked, it was 52, 53.
It's because no longer are we doing like nonsense like, own the future and shit like that. This is own the now, man. Own the now. We're here.
Mate, we owned the now in 2018 when we won 2 games and we had 15% more
We've built a sodding 7-Eleven on the corner now. We own the corner. It's our corner.
Oh, I love it. We have 53,465 members right now. That's insane.
Mate, honestly, I'm telling you, I can't wait till September. My wife will be like, oh, Dan's late home. Grand final. And she checks the savings account and sees all the money's gone because I've bought everyone a drink down Lygon. Can't wait.
It's happening. So that's that. Let's move on to the next item on the agenda. We've got about 14 minutes to talk about this. Bit of a draft preview. So just to give you guys some context, here on the channel, we're going to do pretty much exactly what we did last year. We're going to go through the picks that we have. Pom, this is your time, mate. It's draft. This is your time to shine, mate. Draft time is yours. You're going to have player previews for us for who we could be picking up with those picks. So we're looking forward to getting them out. But before we do that, on a high level, what's the situation at the moment? What do we need to know right now?
Well, at the moment, we've got 35 of these seniors. So when you draft someone, they go on the senior list.
Yeah.
So you've got 2 avenues at the moment. We've got 3 draft picks. If we took all 3 of them, that would be 38, which would mean that we could only take 4 rookies. So we've got 1 rookie spot left, including Kennedy, that is. So we've got 2 if you don't include him.
Okay.
So not great picks, but the great thing about this draft is that your top 15 is probably locked away, and they've probably done enough credits in the bank to tell us that they're good players.
Mm-hmm.
But every year we have a guy that comes from nowhere, that's played state level football and just flies up the tree, the pecking order. And then we've got players that slide. Devon Robertson last year would be a great example, was many people's top 3 going into about June.
Yeah. Captain of the W18.
Yeah, we're going into June of that, the power rankings. He was top 3. He was holding on. Then he plummeted. And the problem is we don't have that. And none of the other football clubs do. And they've played a bit. South Australia, WA, they got a bit of Colts in, a bit of juniors. But there isn't the plethora of database that we've got. So it's very hard. So being where we are, we're in the happy place. The 30s to 50s is where there's usually 2 or 3 players that come from nowhere. So we're in the happy place at the moment.
Can you eliminate this myth that has emerged? Because I hear one of 2 things when it comes to our picks. I hear either we've got picks 38, 48, which are going to become 55 and 65, or I hear we've got picks 38 and 48, which are going to come into 27 and 23.
You can go 2 ways. So the rumors are the teams have only got to pick 1 draft pick now.
Correct.
So
that's a new rule change, right?
Yeah, it's never happened before. Now, the AFL anticipate 55 to 60 players will go, which is huge.
Okay.
That's a huge ramification. So that's just under 3 picks each. I think it'll be less. I think because of these, if you look at how the lists are formulated at the moment, you go on and have a look at their lists.
Yeah.
They're all working from the 36 to 38 textbook. I could see perceivably a lot of teams just picking up 1 pick, 1 player, and saying, right, 1 and done.
Second, and then they'll use their 2nd and 3rd picks instead of using them.
Burn them.
And they just pick up rookies,
mature
age rookies.
So if that happened for Carlton, our picks could go down. So say it's 38, it could potentially go down. But you've also got to remember academy picks. So Hagen is the doggies guy. He'll go top 3.
Yep.
So that will instantly be pushed back 1. Potentially there is about 15 academy graduates that are, according to the ESPN and according to the AFL's website themselves, are in the top 50 potentially. So if bids are made, and if Essendon are smart, they start doing that. If I'm Essendon with pick 6, I am going at everyone's academies.
Okay.
They're top 20 academies.
So for us, would you prefer us, and question for you at home, would you prefer us to draft 3 kids, or would you prefer us to pick someone with pick 38, burn the last 2, and then use the other 2 spots on the list in the rookie draft or the pre?
I'd be going 1 kid. So I'd be going best available for 38. and I would be looking at it as a project player. So I would be looking at maybe someone like Durden. Some people want Henry Walsh. For me, I don't want another baby ruckman. I think TDK is a decade ruckman, so I'd be maybe looking at someone in the rookie draft. And what I'd be doing is taking one player, so whoever that is, best available. If that's a Durden, if that's a Collins, go that route, and then I'd burn the next two, and that would give me 36 on my senior list, and it would give me the option of having another 3 rookies.
Right.
And I would dangle them rookie picks on maybe the next best available. So someone like Charlie Mackay, we've heard about him, Andrew's son. He's a bolter. He's come from nowhere, really impressive testing. And dangle the carrot with 3 players and say, next year, I'm going to promote 2 of you. That will allow me to burn 2 of my nothing picks in the draft next year. Take 1 player, and then I can use my next if I need to get a senior player. So there's rumours we're going after Kelly. There's rumours we're going after Merritt. As it stands at the moment, that's a good idea. I hope, though, this time next year, we're in a position where we're going Merritt, we've got Stocker. But if we're not, it gives us that option to burn 2 and use these rookie picks to burn them, like we did with Kennedy. Like promote him again to the senior list when we're back a full quarter. Save salary cap space as well, because a rookie, you've only got to pay him a maximum of 80k, a minimum of 80k for a second-year player. So it saves the salary cap space. So suddenly, say if I manage to pick, let's just argument's sake, rookie, someone like Riley Knight, John Gallucci, Charlie Mackay, someone like that, 3 of them.
There's your list.
80k I've saved. They're going to play because there's no jobs. And also throw that money at Cripper. Tie him away, lock him down. Doesn't affect my salary cap too much. Next year I reset when we've got a proper draft pool.
So let's move the conversation to positions now. What do we need to fill? For me, it's a small forward, a ruck. I think we need a ruckman on the list, a 3rd one, but not a project ruckman, not a little beanpole that's going to be. Don't draft a Tom DeConing is basically what I think. I think we need to just get a big body who, breaking class in case of emergency. Touch wood, Tom DeConing gets hurt. Pito's, not happening. He's suspended or he's injured. Just someone that can just, neutralize a contest.
I think the model of ruckman, and the AFL shows you this, it's having a young one, a mid one, and a senior one. And the senior one's your backup. Someone like Andrew Phillips would be perfect to have on the list at this moment. Just some guy that's just going to play VFL football. And should the unlikely occurrence TDK and Pitnet go down, you've always got Mr. Backup. But look at Casbolt's ruck stats. He's phenomenal for the position that he has and the time he has. That's so he can always give a hit out. And that would say to me that you could maybe play Casbolt and that. But I'd be going for a senior ruckman. I think doggies show you the model. They went after Stefan Martin. It's a very shrewd pickup. So Henry Walsh, real good player though. If we take him, very good player, exceptional ruck work. It's hard to be young and have good ruck work. His craft is brilliant. His ability to read the ball in flight, tap down and find his midfielders, second to none. It is verging on elite. Mobility around the ground though, people get blinded. They're like Sam Walsh's brother. You see this bloke run, they're not related.
Yeah, right.
They're not related. They're not related. His mobility is horrific for a ruckman, but he's a big ruckman. He's 204 centimeters. He's tall. He's like an ox. So there is the weakness. And in the modern day game, I wouldn't say he's a modern day ruckman.
Got you.
He's
a Robbie Warner.
Yeah, it's an old school tap ruckman. It's not like TDK, athletic, high flying marks. Get around it. Very good player though, but I think it's a disservice. If we take him, you're taking him because of sentimental value, and sentimental value will win you sweet FA.
That's something we've been doing for far too long.
If you do things for sentimental value, all you will do is get a kiss from your aunt at the barbecue. That is it. So we're past that. To me, he deserves to play. Henry is a very good footballer. I want to see him go to Geelong, where he's got a huge chance of playing in the next couple of years, and wish him luck. Because TDK, back him in. So I would be going 3 rookies this year, 1 senior player, and really manipulating the system.
All right, let's have a look and see what you guys at home are saying. Ian Murphy, key back support. This is his priorities for what we do. So key back support, a small forward, and a developing ruck. I
think key defender is for me.
I totally agree with all 3.
Number 1, I think it's project. If you're going to go project, there's loads of key defenders, 30 to 40.
Do we want a project? Do we want a Finbar O'Dwyer?
No, when I say project, I'm saying someone that usually 30 key position is where they go.
Yeah, okay.
We're in that prime spot.
Yep.
Get the best key defender. There's a real good athletic key defender I've got my eye on.
Yep.
And he is the future Liam Jones.
Yep. Michael Feast, what are your thoughts of ex-player Bryce Gibbs signing for South Adelaide in the Sandful? At least he's back in the navy blue and white. Yeah. Good luck to him. Well done.
I won't lose sleep at night.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for
Best
him.
of luck for you.
Tom Lewington, Majak Dor as that third stringer. I would love Majak. Well,
I don't mind Majak Dor.
let's look at the names that are available that just instantly pop up. So it's Oscar McDonald, Mason Wood, Gallucci,
Riley Knight.
I mean, is Madge a little old to be taking a?
I think
30.
I think if you look at our key backs at this right now today, you can't count McGovern and you can't count Casbolt.
No, that's right. Yeah,
and I think Casbolt's got a very serviceable role down back. But who's your key defender? If Jones went down, heaven forbid, or Jacob Wheater, I'm touching the wood here, who is an actual key defender? Because a key position player, there is a clue in the name, I always say. It's the most important position on the field.
Yeah.
It's a specialist position. Any idiot can play small defender or small forward.
Yeah.
But very few get retrained. And it's always from the same neck of the woods they get trained. So I do think you need someone there.
Okay.
And is it Majak?
Because he can also fill the ruck void too and be the body.
I like the idea of Majak because he might not play.
And we only need him for
but
a couple of
do
years,
a job.
right?
You know he'll do a job. And that's
Exactly.
why if you took the best 30, 40 key defender in 2 years' time, he's going to be firing to play when Majak, we give him a handshake and say, cheers for your service.
For me, Majak would be such an upgrade on what we had with Callum Moore this year.
He's a massive
they can
upgrade.
essentially do the same thing. They can essentially play in the same position.
People say his mobility went, but he kicked 4 goals, didn't he?
Yeah.
He kicked a few goals as well. So he's got that versatility.
No, look, I get it. He's 30, but we're only looking for someone that's just going to help for a couple of, it's a short-term thing.
I think from a core group standpoint, imagine him in the VFL.
Yeah, exactly right. He'd tear up the VFL.
Imagine him in the VFL with the young kids.
Yeah.
And the lessons he could teach. We love Eddie Betts because he gives lessons. Like, it's all I've heard for the last year.
Yeah.
Eddie Betts has done this. Eddie Betts has done that.
Yeah.
Eddie Betts has done this. Majak Dor's the same bloke. Imagine being a young 18-year-old key defender and him taking you to one side and saying, this is what the pressure can do. This is what this can do.
Yeah.
Try this, try that. Very knowledgeable.
By the same token, I'm not an Oscar McDonald fan, but he did play in the prelim, a few years back. He's played in some big games. I think he's played 80 or 88 games. I'm not a believer.
He just reminds me of Hugh Goddard.
Yeah.
It's like, do we waste a list spot on someone that's never going to play? Where Majak, he's at the end of his career and he's going to give you that. He's going to
do everything he can to hold on. Ultra professional.
I might be against my own rules though. I do love Majak.
Yeah.
Like, I actually love him. So this is probably, Pom going, oh, don't get sentimental. But I'll
Look
get
at you getting sentimental. You little softy.
you little mug.
Absolutely mugging me off.
I'm mugging everyone off.
Okay. We've got a couple of minutes left. Anything else on your mind, Pom, before we wrap it up?
No,
you guys at home?
I thought the draft, what that guy said, because you asked me the question, I didn't answer it, which was what would I target? Key defender.
Right.
100%. I think that gentleman was spot on. I think key defender with our pick 30. I'm not really one for small forwards. I think you can go out and get small forwards.
Yeah.
Like, even with 48 and 78, you could go out and find them. There is a load in this draft.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, the depth for small forwards.
They've got terrible fitness. That's probably the one thing that's made them go so low in the draft, right?
Like, the small forwards, there is thousands. Like, you look at it position-wise, it's all outside midfielders and small forwards. There's a few of them.
Joe Cotoggio has mentioned something here, which is spot on. With the new rules in our game plan, additional speed should be the priority.
Especially that 15-meter rule.
Yeah, the one where you can't move on the mark.
I think that I don't like that move.
Well, it's great for us. Adam Sard is just going to run around and people can't.
I thought the 15 meters from the kick-in is going to help Sard because he traditionally takes the kick-ins for Essendon. That extra 5 meters gives him time.
Yeah.
To really hit his top straps.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. A few more questions here and comments from you guys before we wrap up. Michael Feast, Jordan Foote. Where is he? Oh, I've lost your comment. Jordan Foote as a replacement for Betts. Best player in the Sandford Grand Final, and he's a goal kicker, same as James Rowe, full forward and leading goal kicker in the Sandford. Yeah, this James Rowe, kid. Is he a kid? Is he a mature age player?
He's a mature age player, but he's not old.
I watched Heath Buck's video on him, so it's a name that's popped up there. Brody Kemp and another top midfielder will push us into the top 4 in a premiership chance. Love it. Saint is asking, when do you think Cripps will sign a new contract? hopefully before the season starts. But
I've got
I
a
mean,
feeling it'll be at the bye. Just got a feeling. You
Yeah?
know, we always reveal a bit of news. And then
yeah,
that it's just Carlton Media 101 in the bye. Give them something.
absolutely. Yeah.
Give the plebs
Can you
something
imagine?
to feast on.
Can you imagine getting to round 16 and Cripps hasn't signed yet?
Nah, because we'll be playing finals. We're playing finals. Why are you putting negativity
No,
on?
I'm just.
Is
Hey,
it-
there's
is
a
it-
reality to this situation. He's not signed yet.
Are-
Like he's.
Are you
know,
the anti-Pom? Are you like Pom gets positive about someone to get a stress fracture?
just
Cripps is going
mindful.
to the Eagles.
It's a
He'll sign a
massive
10-year
year
deal.
on all fronts. If we are not playing finals next year, if
We're
we
playing finals, bro.
okay,
I'm going to be sat here with my feet. I'm going to be sat there in Pom's corner, feet up. They'll call me 2-beer Pom because I watch the finals live with 2 beers all the time.
it's just things that I stress about in my day to day. Things that I really stress about.
I'm just trying to work out: do I wear the shirt or the jumper for grand final celebration show?
It's absolutely neither, and it's the singlet.
We banned the singlet. We banned the singlet. It's banned.
But that'll do us, guys. That's been the Blue Abroad show today, the 23rd of November. You guys have a great night. We've got a lot coming your way. We've got 2 very special Carlton legends on the channel over the next few weeks. One is going to be on the Jumper Punch, and the other one is doing a Carlton People episode with me. And we're very excited to bring you that. We've got some reaction videos coming up over the next week or so as well. Pom and I got here nice and early and
We've
filmed
gone
them.
full YouTube.
Yeah, we've gone full YouTuber. So we'll see you there. Have a great one and go the